that comfortable with the whole touch generation thing. It just wasn't a very comfortable thing to say, you know? Touch generation. Touching is good. Well, not always. No, it isn't. The phrasing aside, I was down with the approach. The Nintendo DS was the perfect system in that it was great for hardcore gamers who play a million games, but it was also great for people who never play games. Now they were playing lots of games. Specifically, games like TouchMaster. Phrasing! Now, TouchMaster wasn't technically one of the Touch Generations games, but it was in the same spirit. I mean, this is a very simple collection of very simple games with very simple controls, specifically touch controls. Each of its 23 games are played entirely with a stylus, which is exactly what made the DS so accessible. No need for complicated controls and a dozen buttons with a dozen different functions. All you did was touch. In that case, touching was good, but you have to be specific, Nintendo. Now, of course, TouchMaster's dirty little secrets. Actually, I don't want to know any secrets from someone called the TouchMaster. Anyway, the truth is, these games weren't really new. You know, these are actually a lot of the same coin-operated games Midway had in bars and pubs all over the world. It's not like they were designed for the DS, they were just waiting for the DS to get them out of the bar. You know, some people need a sponsor, Hot Hoops needed a stylus. Now, the thing is, I mean, like, think about it. A game designed specifically to be played by people sitting at a bar and doing some combination of waiting for their drink, flirting with their bartender, and ruining their lives. Like, chances are, that's not a great game. You know, quality might not have been the driving factor in its development. So obviously, it's kind of a mixed bag with the games in TouchMaster. Some of them are good, some of them are not as good, but most of them are just somewhere in the middle. Maybe the TouchMaster is Malcolm, because he's mostly in the middle. So the games are split into a couple different categories. You have card games, which are, you know, card games, and they're puzzle games and skill games. So there's actually a decent variety of games here, even if the games don't have much variety. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. But the point is, these are very simple, shallow games. So the draw is the amount of games. None of them are gonna hold your attention very long, except for maybe the card games. Otherwise, they're short games for short play, which makes them great portable games. I said games like a dozen times just then. And speaking of games, I actually had the most fun with the card games and the puzzle games. Some of the action and skill games just don't work quite as well. They get a little too cute for their own good at times. But I had fun with Solitaire, because apparently I'm an old guy. The game's biggest problem is the presentation, though. I mean, it is impressively generic. Awful sound, there's barely any music, and just, like, awful aesthetic design. You know, the DS Lite was such an elegant piece of hardware. TouchMaster is the furthest thing from elegant. And everything's really small, too, like, especially the numbers on the cards. And this is supposed to be for casual gamers, old people. Small numbers are a problem for old people. Of course, part of those presentation problems come from the fact that Midway didn't really change these games from their barroom versions. That's why everything looks like kind of squished down on these smaller screens. And this might be nitpicking, but it's the same thing with the controls. The whole game is tapping, as opposed to sliding and grabbing and all the other inputs you could do on the DS. And at times, that feels a little weird, like a little counterintuitive. And another thing is, it had online multiplayer, which is cool, but your local wireless options are limited to multi-cartridge play, which sucks. You know, a game like this would have been perfect for single cartridge play. And with games this simple, it should have it too. TouchMaster wasn't a bad game, but it's a game that was hard to be excited about. Then, now, whenever. You know, it was a touch game, but it wasn't doing anything new with touch. It was just a bunch of old touch games, ranging in quality from crap to, hey, this is a fun distraction. This is something I could do if I literally had no other options of things to do. That's high praise, if you ask me. And a huge thanks to our friend Salvatore from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for sending us this game. We really enjoyed touching it, Salvatore. I mean, I don't want to speak for anyone else, but it certainly left me satisfied. It's TouchMaster for the Nintendo DS. Phrasing!